Excuse us for being just a little bit unorganized, but this is really kind of been a hard thing for us to have to go through. But all the rest of you guys can sit down except for Kelly. I wrote this down last night, but I don't even know if I'm going to read it, because I believe that whenever you do something for God, the Holy Spirit gives you the words at the time you need them. I wasn't sure I was going to say this, but a lot of you guys keep asking exactly how he died, because a lot of you all know that he really wished from the bottom of his heart to have at least one, if not both, of his children there when he passed away. And his worst fear was to be alone when he died. We had been praying that God would make it to be the exact perfect timing so that we could both be there and that it would be a very peaceful thing. Well, that is exactly what God did. After all of the days that me and Kelly passed and weren't there at the same time very often because of family and different things, here's exactly what happened. I had planned to leave that night that he passed away at 11 o'clock and decided, something in me, and even my husband kept saying, I think I need to call into work tomorrow. And I kept saying, no, you need to go. But anyway, I ended up making the decision to stay. He ended up making the decision to call into work. And she ended up making the decision to come back to the Shenandoah house that he was at earlier than she was actually supposed to come back. We had just finished getting him settled down, and she had went to use the restroom, and I happened to look at him, and I thought, okay. My heart quickened, so I yelled for her, and she came, and you just kind of sometimes know. So she leaned down in one ear, and I leaned down in the other ear, and we began to tell him that it was time to go to Jesus and just to let go and just to run, because he'd held on for so long. And Kelly was telling him how much she loved him. And what she doesn't realize is in the other ear, I was telling him that it was okay to go, because I was ready to make the commitment that he asked me to make, which was to promise him that I would take care of her. I believe that my dad held on as long as he did, fighting as long as he did the last 4 or 5 months, because me and Kelly have been at odds for many, many, many years, and some of you guys probably even know this. But as this last 4 or 5 months has went, God has done miraculous things in us. And we have actually become sisters, which has not ever really been the case. So just in honor of my dad, I wanted to do this publicly, because in a few minutes you'll learn about just how big he was on publicly letting people know how much he loved someone. And I want you to know that I love you. The corsage stands for me, you, and Dad. This rose I want you to keep, and I want them to be the last 2 that are laid on the casket at the grave. After Dad passed away, me and Kelly stood up and grabbed hands across him, and we prayed, and we made a commitment to be what our sister is supposed to be, regardless of what life throws at us. And that's what this is, and that's what this means to me.